Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Washington, D.C. Specifically, welcome to Capitol Hill. Today, I got the Capitol right behind me. Right next to that, we have the U.S. Supreme Court. Right in back of me, we have the Library of Congress, which I just did a video on that. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check right down below and you will see a link to the playlist Washington, D.C., where you can catch up on all of these amazing and historic vlogs that I've been doing right here in our nation's capital. Sit back, relax, and let's have an adventure. If you guys haven't been to the United States Capitol, I gotta tell you, it is a really cool feeling standing here at our nation's capital. Behind me is the U.S. House of Representatives. We have the main rotunda right here, followed by the Senate, which I will show you right now. And this is the U.S. Senate side, which in front of the U.S. Senate, there is a peaceful protest going on, which is normal, everyday sort of thing here at the Capitol.
Come on up and have a conversation. Talk to a veteran today here in the community, and we'll tell you what we're out here for. But I will generally say that we are out here supporting the PACT Act. And what we want for you to do is we want for you to call your senators today and tell them to support this PACT Act. This is something that keeps the promises to America's veterans, many of whom are standing in front of you right now. Many of us have served in multiple wars, over multiple tours, and have been exposed to multiple things, all in service of this country. We fought for your freedom, we fought for your peace that you enjoy. Now you can fight for us by calling your senators and telling them to support the very important legislation in the coming days.
It is such a beautiful day here. It's hot, but it is beautiful. Now I will say this, here at the U.S. Capitol, there's lots of Capitol Police here. they've lost a lot of their staff since the craziness and the insurrection that happened. You know, they are working long shifts, unwanted overtime. They are very hard-working officers that have sacrificed a lot for our country. Things that we would have never have expected to happen here. And they're very nice. I've talked to many of them. If you come down here, don't be afraid of the police. They're here as public servants for you. They're very nice. They're kind. They will talk to you. I wouldn't bring up the insurrection because, I mean, frankly, I wouldn't want to talk about it either. But if you have general questions about, you know, our nation's capital, touristy stuff, they are more than happy to talk with you and converse with you. And, you know, you're here as a tourist or even as a local. You know, the law enforcement here in the Capitol, they are very approachable and will talk to you. And as long as you give them respect, just like you would any other human being, expect the same thing in return. So don't be afraid of your public servants. They're here for you. And right now, I tell you, I feel very, very safe here in our nation's capital. Want to know what is the highest court in our entire country? It's right here, the United States Supreme Court. This is the highest court of law that we have in our great nation. Unfortunately, there are these metal barricaded walls that go all the way around it, so we can't actually get closer than this, but I can get you a little closer, maybe a shot through the gate. I am walking around the entire perimeter of the U.S. Supreme Court, and it does appear that these fences do go all the way around. I'm not sure why but they do. They so far, and I've been around about half of the building. They do go all the way around, and they do have U.S. Supreme Court police posted on all corners of the building. So security here is very, very tight. I don't know if that's the way it always is, but you could definitely get a lot closer to the U.S. Capitol building, even on the steps, than you can here at the U.S. Supreme Court. And here is the back side of the U.S. Supreme Court. You can see still gated off. Even the sidewalks are gated off, so you can't get too close to the building, but this is what the back side looks like. Well, I got a little bit more insight as to why the fencing off here at the U.S. Supreme Court by a local resident. And ever since the overturn of Roe v. Wade, they had to put up these fences because of all of the protests that were going on. And that makes a lot of sense now. It was probably the biggest overturned case in, at least in the history that I've been around. So yeah. On another note, just check out these houses around here. I mean, these are amazing. The houses that, I mean, turn of the century. These houses, absolutely gorgeous. Is that a train I hear? Because next up on our adventure is Union Station, Washington, D.C. So where do you guys want to go? Welcome to Union Station. There's a lot going on in this building. You have a mall, you have a food court, and of course you can go right downstairs to the ticketing counter and book a trip on Amtrak, pretty much anywhere that Amtrak goes in the United States. Where should we go? It looks like our train has brought us right here to the Smithsonian U.S. Postal Museum. Let's go check it out. So what did you guys think of the National Postal Museum? Pretty cool, right? I mean, seeing the history of the U.S. Postal Service is pretty cool. Like, I mean, they started traveling with mail just with nothing but what was in their hands, dog sleds and by horseback, and the post office was the news. No postal, nobody knew what was going on in the world. Pretty interesting, especially the stamps, all the different stamps and the history of the stamps, and I mean, all the different artwork involved in all of the stamps, and pretty interesting to see the evolution of the U.S. Postal Service. I would highly recommend this Smithsonian Museum if you come to Washington, D.C. I think that is a good place to end this video. Man, we did a lot. Oh my goodness. So we started off at the Capitol. Check that area out. And what a beautiful spot, just to be standing there like in our nation's capital. That's where it all happens. After that, we went over to the U.S. Supreme Court, checked out the exterior of the Supreme Court, then over to Union Station, where they had a mall and a food court, and that's where Amtrak takes you wherever Amtrak goes in the country. And then finish it off right here at the Smithsonian National Postal Museum. So much cool stuff to see in this museum, as well as all of the Smithsonian museums. And I plan on hitting up quite a lot more. So make sure you are subscribed with the bell notification icon turned on. I will put a link down below where you can find all of the videos connected to my stay here in Washington, D.C. There is so much to do. There is so much to see. So please check those videos out. And if you like this video, share it. Share it with your friends, family, loved ones. It's one of the ways we build the channel. If you're curious about the type of gear that I use while I'm out and about vlogging, you can also check that out down below. There's a link to Amazon where you can check out all the lowest prices that they're currently being offered for. So I am going to somehow find a way back to my apartment that I'm staying at, and hopefully get something to eat because I am starving. Oh, and take a shower because I am so sticky. I think I've walked at least 12,000 steps today. I'm gonna take care of myself. Make sure you take care of yourself and each other. Peace.